everybody. How you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers pregame presented by Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me live in the Xfinity studio, it is Philly's #1 hockey beat writer, Charlie O'Connor. What's going on today, Chuck?
Ready for some hockey, William. Ready for some hockey against a injury-ravaged Tampa Bay Lightning team that still keeps winning.
I'll tell you, this weekend we saw a formerly great team get embarrassed by a historical division rival. We saw a soon-to-be great team dominate an historic division rival. Get on the bandwagon. And you know how you got to get on the Flyers bandwagon? You got to do it with some merch. Now, I'm talking to the diehards out there. The rest of you civilians, you will get your Black Friday sale on actual Black Friday. But right now, diehards can go to our team store. You can go to the ALLCITY Network store and cash in on awesome savings, up to 90% off hats, t-shirts, hoodies, whatever you're looking for. You go there now. You have to have the code at checkout, but if you're not a diehard, you can sign up, or you might want to wait till like Cyber Monday. There might be a little deal. You didn't hear it from me, but for the diehards who are currently subscribed to get all of Charlie and our all-star rosters writing and premium content, you can also check out our merch store and get early access to everything on the Black Friday sale.
And if you want early access, maybe just become a diehard.
Yeah, maybe just become a diehard. Choose which maybe sort of discount you want to get. Maybe you want the merch discount early. You're going to pay full price to be a diehard. Maybe you want to wait till Monday to be a diehard. I can't blame you. But for everyone who's a diehard right now, why not? Why not take advantage? One other thing I have to tell you about before we get started. We are giving away tickets. That's right. We're giving away tickets to the Flyers Charities Carnival. To enter to win these tickets, you go to allphly.com/Flyers-Charities-Carnival-Giveaway. I didn't do it. I'm sorry. It wasn't me. But you go there. I will tweet this link out later as well. But you go there, you enter to win. All we need is your first and last name and your email address, and you're entered to win. And guess what? We have 10 general admission tickets we are going to give away. That's right, 10 general admission tickets get you in. But that's not all. We have 2 grand prizes. You can win a sign and snap. That's right, you get a chance to get a picture and an autograph from Cam York, or a picture and an autograph from Travis Sanheim, one of the top 2 defensemen, or a general admission ticket. All of that. Go to the website I mentioned earlier. I'll tweet it out so you don't have to remember 4 different dashes. But all right, let's get to the actual show, Chuck. And hit the like button while we're doing that. Charlie, I have a serious question I need to ask you.
Okay.
So the Flyers have allowed the first goal in 14 of 20 games so far. They are 8-4-2 when they trail first. They have a .643 points percentage, .571 just straight win percentage. Should they at least consider opening the game with an empty net and conceding the first goal in the opening minute?
Well, no, but maybe they should operate under the assumption every game that they're already down 1-0. It's all about mentality. I mean, you visualize that 1-0 score on the scoreboards every time you look up. Just trick yourself into thinking you're already down 1-0. Then maybe you play with the urgency they should be playing from the opening faceoff.
Perhaps this is on the operations crew down at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. You just put a 1 in the visitor column. You just put a 1 up there and be like, see, we're losing already. Or show them the point spread maybe, where it's like you're probably not favored. Yeah. But they are 3-2-1 in the 6 games that they've scored first, which is a worse points percentage than when Sam Ersson and his .844 save percentage starts a game for them. And that's kind of funny. When they score first, they're worse than when they're very bad by the numbers goalie starts.
Yeah, but they're actually very good when they're bad by the numbers goalie starts.
No, it is. It's
I believe it's a 3-1-2
3-1-2. Yeah. And that will get us to tonight's lineup, Charlie.
I think it's like a 109 point percentage pace when Sam Ersson plays.
Nah. And that will get us to tonight's lineup. The first lineup note we have to make is that it will be Sam Ersson starting tonight for your Philadelphia Flyers. He is 3-1-2 with a 330 goals against and that 8-4 or 844 save percentage. It's so fun. All 3 wins have come in a shootout.
Yep. He's real good at them.
He's had 4 straight starts, and 5 of his 6 starts go to overtime.
Yes, this is totally going to overtime.
Spoiler alert, that might be the only bet tonight. It's been an odd start to the season for Sam, but it's interesting that he's able to at least help them force the thing that is his strength. So even when he doesn't play particularly well, he has a outsized say in the win. I find that odd or convenient or whatever for him to have 3 wins. They're all in shootouts thus far, and he's awesome at shootouts. But what do you make of Sam to start this season?
Well, I think my view, and I broke this all down in the piece I wrote on Sam Ersson last week at allphly.com for diehards only. Check that out if you're a diehard. We obviously went through that pitch, so I'm not going to do that again. But honestly, and this is where I differ from the vast majority of fans, I thought before the Blues game, which was objectively terrible, he was really, really bad. Now, he comes through in overtime in the shootout, so props to him. But he was objectively bad in that game. All the numbers were bad. I thought before that Blues game, he was not nearly as bad as people were acting like he was. And it was mostly that he was just dealing with a very, very difficult type of workload where the team was allowing 15 shots a game, but like 10 of them were really high quality. So it made his save percentage look awful. And no one was going to cut him a break because his save percentage has been awful the previous 2 seasons too. But when I dove into numbers like goals saved above expectation, on multiple sites, whether it was Money Puck or Evolving Hockey, I saw a goalie who was about performing at expectation. Not great. Vladar was outplaying him, but wasn't underachieving. Now, against the Blues, that was the first game that really torpedoed his numbers. He legitimately did underachieve, gave up quite a few goals that I would ideally not like for him to give up. And he needs to have a bounce back game. But until that Blues game, I was more like, yeah, I think you guys are overreacting a bit. Now he's coming off a game where, yeah, again, came through in overtime in the shootout, but needs to be better in regulation. That game should not have had to go to a shootout or overtime for that matter, had he played like a league average goalie. He did not play like a league average goalie. I wanted to play like a league average goalie tonight, at least.
I do think, and you look at the numbers, like it's not going great. It's not going great numbers-wise for Sam, and I do think people are just kind of exhausted of the he's better than his numbers argument. But if we were to like wipe away the last season and a half prior to this year and just show you what's happened, I do think you could come to that conclusion now.
And that's generally speaking what I do.
Yeah.
In large part because I find it difficult to blame him too much for the last 2 seasons when I think in both seasons he was put in tough spots.
He was very much put in tough spots, and that's why I think the other end of this is now you see another goalie. Not only are people tired of it, also, well, it's the same team. It's the same skaters in front of him every game. Like, why is one guy's numbers so much better than the others? And listen, when we were talking about Vladar and he's got a 939, it's like, yeah, but I really doubt he's Dominik Hasek. So, maybe these will come back to earth. But now that we're, 20 games into the season and we have a pretty good Vladar sample size, he's well above average. He's at, I think he's at 912 right now.
And he's got a bigger sample size than Ersson
absolutely. Does. And I feel like it's worked out in the way that, they've just given up more shots in Vladar games to some extent where he's had more chances to make saves.
That is true.
He has obviously played better. Like that's,
of course.
That goes without saying.
It's not even close.
I do kind of, while I like and respect Sam Ersson a lot, and I do think there's a better goalie in there, I get why people aren't willing to cut him the slack of the last year and a half, because it's like, I don't know, man, we just did that for 2 seasons, and now there's another goalie who's doing really well, and the coach sees it too. But I don't think, and the numbers show that, they're 3-1-2. They've lost one regulation game of his 6 starts. He's at least performing to the level of the game. You're like, yeah, it's not great, but they're in it, except for one regulation loss. And I guess I can accept that out of a backup. You would like to see him stop a higher percentage of the shots he faces, though.
I totally get why people are frustrated. I just don't share the frustration. I think the Blues game was the first game where I'm like, okay, by both the eye test and by my eye test and by the numbers, he was bad. That was the first game where it's like, okay, now this is passed over into like, yes, when I look at the advanced metrics, his advanced metrics are objectively bad. I'm going to take it more seriously. My general view, though, is that, as I said, I'm not going to kill him for the previous 2 seasons, and 6 games is an extremely small sample. Now, if we're, I've always viewed this season as a key year for Sam Ersson. This is going to be the year when we see what he is and what he isn't. Now, that's not saying that 2-3 years down the road he can't improve. Goalies do that all the time.
Alex Lyon, Anthony Stolars, like it's always praying. I can't believe the Flyers got rid. They weren't this good then.
Right, exactly. So that could easily happen with Ersson. But my point is that the Flyers are going to need to make decisions soon about goalies because they have Vladar for 1 more year. They've got Kolosov coming. They've got Zavragin coming in a couple of years. Bjarnason turned pro. They can't be keeping Sam Ersson because he might be good 4 years down the road. Yeah. They need to make a decision on him based on the numbers and the results that they've seen. And this year is the first time, I think, in his NHL career, aside from that first half of the season 2 years ago before Carter Hart disappeared, it's the first time I think he's being put in a position where he's not being thrust into a role he's clearly not ready for. He should be ready to be a quality NHL backup. And if by the end of the year, his numbers as a quality NHL backup in, let's say somewhere between 20 and 35 starts or 20 and 35 appearances are still real bad, then I will be right there with everyone who's like, yeah, I guess he's just not very good right now. I guess they should try to find another backup or give Bjarnason or Kolosov a shot next year. I'm not there yet because I'm not ready to kill him for the previous 2 years, and this season is just too small of a sample. In 6 games, weird things happen, like an .844 goaltender having a points percentage average above 100.
Yeah, it's truly it's wild. It's wild, the statistical anomaly that is Sam Ersson, I guess. All right, I want to actually take our first break here because I want to come back, talk about the defense, talk about Grebenkin, and some other things. But first, let's talk about Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. With the NHL early payout offer at Bet365, you would have been a winner in the first period if you had bet the Flyers on the money line against the Devils on Saturday. It's that easy because if your team gains a 3-goal lead, if you bet them on the money line or if you have them part of a parlay, you get an instant payout and your parlay legs are marked as winners. You don't have to sweat the rest of the game. You go up 3, you've won the bet. And now we have breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just when you bet just $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, whether your initial bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, total, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus and physically located in PA. If you or someone who has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And while we're here, it's time to tell you about Elkins. That's right, our friends at Elkins Chevrolet, because you know who's dishing those championship-level Black Friday deals every single day. It is Elkins Chevrolet, located on Route 73 South in Marlton, New Jersey. It's run by 3 brothers, Jason, Adam, and Josh, and these guys are in the store every single day working to make sure they have a huge lineup of Chevys at the best price and providing honking good service. There's never any missed shots, no drama, just real brothers running a local business and backing every Black Friday sales deal like it's the championship game. So if you're in the market for a new Chevy, make your next move to Elkins Chevrolet. Real brothers, real deals, and a whole lot of honking good service. Shop now at elkinchevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. All right, Charlie, it looks as if Yegor Zamula will be staying in tonight. Just saw Jackie tweet the lines, and it is
the right move.
Yeah, they were +5. I would say it's time to at least give them a game. I don't know if plus minus is the greatest stat. I do know +5 is very good in a game, though. You probably didn't do too much wrong if you were +5. And so that leaves us with tonight we have Couturier, Michkov, Brink, Dvorak, Zegras, Tippett, Cates, Foerster, Konechny, and then it'll be Abels, Delorier, and Hathaway on the back end. York Sanheim, Andre Drysdale, very intrigued by what we have on defense. And then Sealer, Zamula with Ersson starting. We're going to get to Grebenkin, Delorier, the whole thing in a minute. I've decided I'm pro Delorier.
Oh, really? You've made that decision?
We'll talk about it. But on the back end, I am real interested. The Sealer Zamula, it is good to just get Zamula in there. He's probably better than Noah Juleson, or at least equal. And if you have, like we talked about, if Sealer's on your third pair,
Right. It
doesn't make sense. Like, it simply just doesn't make sense if you have Sealer and Juleson together.
Yeah, that was my view, was that, Sealer, Juleson, you got two traditionally stay-at-home defensemen on the third pair. If you're keeping Andre and Drysdale together, that's your only option if Juleson's in the lineup, because you're certainly not going to put Noah Juleson with one of Travis Sanheim or Cam York. That would be insane. And I would say that Zamula makes more sense as a partner for Sealer. Now, had Zamula stunk on Saturday, then maybe you do give Sealer Juleson another chance, because they did try it in the second and third periods 2 games ago. Because remember, they made the shift to Andre Drysdale starting in the second period of Thursday's game. I believe that was against the Blues. So we have seen a little bit of that. Wasn't great from what we saw, but it was just a little. Maybe they could be better. But I do think that the stylistic logic of a Zamula Sealer pairing, it just makes more sense than the stylistic logic of a Sealer Juleson pairing. And if Zamula looked good in his last game, why not give it another shot and see if he can build off of it? Especially because, look, I know Yegor Zamula isn't the most popular player on the Philadelphia Flyers, but there is a better chance, might not be a high chance, but there is a better chance that Yegor Zamula could be part of the next legitimately good Flyers team than Noah Juleson.
If he's your 6 or 7, I really don't have that big a problem. It's like the rest of the time. Maybe he needs to play 18 minutes. Maybe he doesn't. All right, before we get to the Grebenkin Delorier stuff, did you hear on 32 Thoughts, Elliot Friedman say, Flyers are looking for a center. Now, of course, no S. Sherlock, but he was talking more along the lines, he said, of maybe someone to help out the depth at center. And to me, that says maybe Abel's scoring put it off a week. He was like, all right, I'm going to poke around more on it, but it sounds like the Flyers are calling around about a center. We know Thanksgiving is kind of the time where I wouldn't say the floodgates open, but teams start to go, ooh, we're out of it, or ooh, we need to get something. And we see a few more deals. You think that could be kind of telling about what they see in the fourth line right now?
Well, I think if you're talking about centers, it's telling about what they were seeing from Rodrigo Abels.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. And then Rodrigo Abels has played better over the last couple games, so maybe that puts a little halt to that. But no, I totally get why the Flyers would be considering it, would be watching what they've seen out of their fourth line over the first, what would have been 18 games? Yeah, I could totally see why they're like, maybe this Abels guy just don't got it, and we don't think Carson Dort's ready yet. Lane Peterson's a quad A guy, so we got to go out and see if maybe we want to toss somebody, a 5th, 6th round pick for a decent enough center if they're willing to dump. They got the cap space, so if somebody's looking to dump a center for nothing more than just clearing some cap space, the Flyers could do it. I get it. I do think, though, that Abels' play over the last couple games maybe got him a bit longer of a leash. I don't think it's a very long leash, but he's been better. So yes, I did hear about that report from Elliot Friedman. It's Elliot, so I imagine there's something to it. He doesn't make stuff up, but I do think it was mostly don't take that to be like, oh, well, what does that mean for Dvorak? What does that mean for Zegras? What does that mean for Couturier? This is an Abels thing, and Abels, since Elliot heard that, Abels started to play a little bit better. So now maybe they might not just rush into making a move because they need a fourth line center, because Abels might be, maybe, and I'm not ready to say this in certainty, but maybe starting to figure it out a little bit.
Just something that got proposed to me, and we don't have any 4 o'clock shows, so I'm just kind of fitting stuff in where we can. We're going to talk about the Jet Luchenko trade in post game, unless this game's insane, and we'll get to it when we get to it. Maybe we'll do a mini pod or something. But we'll get to the Jet Luchenko stuff. I understand people probably want to talk about that, but there's a game tonight.
Yeah, we're doing pregame.
Just real quick. Ryan Poehling hasn't played since the 11th in Anaheim. He's been
healthy scratched?
He's been healthy scratched. He's only played in 16 of 22. You think they'd call him? You think they'd be like, just give him back?
That'd be funny.
Just give him back.
That would be funny.
That happens in hockey so much.
That would have been. I feel like not so much anymore.
No,
but that absolutely would have been like a late '90s, early 2000s Bob Clark move.
Just not even. I just feel like in hockey, it's we need, and you see it in baseball too with relievers and bench bats.
It happens more in baseball.
We need a guy to fit this exact role of the player we just let go. screw it. Just bring back the guy because we know he can do it.
I mean, you did just see it with
Yeah.
Dennis Gilbert,
Yeah.
where the Senators are like,
Exactly.
well, we need a depth defenseman. Is the guy who was our depth defenseman the final 20 games of last season still available? Oh, he is. All right, sure.
Perfect, yeah. All right, Nikita Grebenkin real quick, Chuck. 3 points, 1 goal, 2 assists, about 9.5 minutes a night in the 12 games he has played. The Flyers are 5-5-2 when he plays. They're 8-1-1 when Nick Delorier plays. Do you think it's as simple as this?
I mean, it might be. And I don't, to be clear, like, I'm the sample guy. I'm
I know.
the small sample guy. I don't think this is indicative of like, oh, this means Delorier should be in every game. I think that's insane.
I know.
But could that be what Tocchet's thinking of? Maybe.
That's when I ask you something like this, we all at this point know what you think about something like that. It's asinine.
Yeah.
But coaches think
maybe.
that way.
Yeah, maybe.
Coaches absolutely think that way. And I find these numbers baffling. One thing I can point to about Nick Delorier that does impress me. We know the fourth line has not accounted for a goal yet. Rodrigo Abel scored away from the fourth line before they got on the ice.
But the fourth line was really good in that.
Yeah, definitely. Grebenkin, his points have all come away from that line. What is impressing me about Nick Delorier is he's only -2. And we know he hasn't accounted for, he has no points and his line has accounted for no points. He must be doing something right?
I mean, I think truthfully what it is at its core is that, and Tocchet has articulated this on a few occasions, and I really think this is probably the reason. He knows Grebenkin is a higher upside player than Nick Delorier. He's aware of this. We're all aware of this. We all watched Nikita Grebenkin play. We know that he can do much cooler things in terms of actual things with the puck. Like Delorier can do cooler things with his fists, but Grebenkin can do much better things with the puck at this stage of his career than Delorier can at his stage of his career. But I think what it boils down to is Grebenkin he sees as a higher variance player, who's a guy who he can't necessarily trust at this point to not make big mistakes. Like one thing that I thought was telling, we were talking to Tocchet a few days ago, and I think it was Jackie who brought up like, well, you've been talking about how you guys want to get stronger along the boards, and Nikita Grebenkin's really good along the boards. And Tocchet kind of stopped there and was like, well, he was really good along the boards in the beginning. Not so much anymore. So I think there is an L, because that's something that like, it hasn't annoyed me because like whatever, fans can do whatever they want. But a lot of fans keep bringing up the tweet from, I think it was like mid-October, where somebody quoted Tocchet saying like, we need to get more minutes for Grebenkin. And now it's like they're just screenshotting and being like, where are the minutes, Rick? Good job finding it. I think what that misses, though, is that I think Tocchet was feeling better about Grebenkin in mid-October than he's feeling about him now. Like, it's not as if this is like the exact same feeling. Back then, he was like, yeah, I really like what I'm seeing from this guy. We need to find him more minutes. It seems like, based on the conversations we've had with Tocchet on the record, that he's been a bit more frustrated as the weeks have gone on in what he's seen from Grebenkin in terms of like avoiding mistakes. And I think that's a big part of why he's not in.
All right. Not a ton of time for this conversation. Just wanted to mention Tampa Bay. They started 1-4-2. Oh, it's over. They're finally cooked. Well, they're 11-3-0 since. They've won 3 straight, and they're missing like everybody whose name you know. Kucherov will play tonight. He left last game with an injury, but he is in tonight. He is one of the few big guns actually playing. He and Jake Gensel are in. Okay. Hedman, McDonough, and Pontus Holmberg are all on IR, and Point and Chernak are out. They were listed day-to-day, week-to-week, but they are out tonight.
So that's 4 really big names. McDonough isn't as good as he used to be, but he's still a quality defenseman. Yeah. But Hedman, Point, and Chernak, Hedman and Point in particular, are obviously superstar-level players, and them being out will, of course, help the Flyers.
All right, so we will see what sort of Tampa Bay team we see tonight. Their record is good. It's not the same team you're used to, but they're doing it without everybody. Now let's get to the bets. It's time for the pregame picks. Here are our Bet365 pregame picks. Use code PHLY365 at sign up. Deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus an MPA. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. One bet tonight, Charlie. Guess what it is?
Yes.
We're going to overtime, baby. This is simple.
If we have to suffer through it, then we can at least make some money on the day.
Exactly. This is simple math. Almost all of Sam Ersson's games have gone to overtime. Sam Ersson is playing. Yeah. Tied after regulation, yes, plus 320. It should be even money. Plus 320, I will absolutely take it. Therefore, this is why I'm not a professional gambler, because I'm like, the math makes sense. It's like, you don't know about odds. You
Never tell me the odds.
You can barely do simple addition and subtraction. Talk about fractions now. All right, but that's our only bet tonight over at Bet365, and I think we have a few super chats want to get to. All right. From R Park 884 says Andre plays, Flyers win. Andre doesn't have quite the same record that Delorier does.
He's played in more games now.
But it's
They're
pretty
using him.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty. He's got a pretty decent record.
It's almost like he's one of the 6 best defensemen that's NHL ready in the Flyers organization right now.
You know what I like about you saying that, Charlie?
What?
Is when I said it, when they sent him back, you were like, well, that's not a fact. And now it is.
Yeah. Well, it was a fact in terms of raw talent. Sure, it might not have been a fact in terms of how he's playing.
Yeah.
Now
All right. From R Park again, Darth Vladar is the new Dominic Hasek. Charlie, do you like Darth Vladar or Dan Vlastar better?
I think Darth Vladar is better.
Damn it!
I think Darth Vladar is better.
Nobody likes Dan Vlastar.
Also, and I want to clarify this because I was thinking about what you just said. No, I never said that Andre was not one of the 6 best. You said he was like one of the 3 best, which was insane.
I said with Risto out, he is probably one of the 3 most talented.
Yeah, and that was insane.
Is it?
You put him over Drysdale.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
At the time, I didn't know Drysdale was this good.
Okay.
And now they're playing together. It's a competition.
I would have had no problem if you would have kept it to one of the 6 best defensemen right now in the Flyers organization who's NHL ready. Once you were getting into 3 or 4, that was a bit much for me, and it still probably is a bit much for me.
I mean, he's definitely, without Risto, he's top 4.
Yeah, I mean, I think him and Sealer, like, they're obviously 2 different types of players.
Yeah, definitely. If
They bring different things to the table, but I would put them around the same level in terms of, like, true talent quality.
If this was last year's defensive system that just kind of highlighted what Sealer does better, maybe I have him in that conversation. Right now, this Sealer doesn't look like the Sealer from the last few years.
That's fair. And I guess where I'm coming from is like, I agree with you that right now Andre is playing better than Sealer, but when I'm talking about true talent, I'm still evaluating the overall track record of Sealer and being like, yeah, he's got a multi-year track record of being an above average NHL defenseman. Emil Andre does not.
No, I like Nick Sealer a lot. I just think we might be, 1, not in the right system for him, and 2, guys who play that way maybe don't last that long.
That's possible.
All right, DA Flyers man. Any thoughts on what Saravalli said about the rebuild? Lots of naysayers are acting quite vindicated by his view.
Okay, we got very little time here. It was
I didn't see it.
It was Frank Saravalli's comments. Let's throw the goalie. I'm not saying that he's wrong. I'm saying that we've had this same debate for like 2 years now. They're not doing the rebuild that way.
Yeah, it's not happening.
So,
That's
like,
not what they do.
I don't know what to tell you. Like, I guess if you want to just keep, like shaking your fist and being like, should have tanked, you can, but they're not doing it that way. And if they were going to do it that way, they would have had to make different decisions 2 years ago. At this point, like, I get it, but, like, the ship has sailed.
We do know that, like, we're going to have this conversation by points percentage during the first wild card. That's what drives me nuts about all this. Is like we're ignoring the evidence of our eyes and ears and like, well, I didn't like the idea to begin with and I still don't. It's like, but it's going well. It's actually going well.
It's actually going the way they want it to go.
Yeah, this is exactly what they were planning.
I mean, and what it all boils down to in the end is that, and it goes back to the questions we got in the mailbag. People are not satisfied with the answer to how are you going to get the 1C and 1D being just trust us, we'll get it by trade.
How does everyone
agency.
get them?
And the thing is like, I get why people are skeptical, but like, that's their plan. All we can do now is judge them on whether they succeed with their plan because they could do it. Like, you can make trades for guys. It's just harder.
Draft, trade, and free agency. Same
harder.
way as everyone else. If you want guarantees, watch a Disney movie. This is competitive sports. The teams who tank, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. The teams who do it this way, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. It's all about luck. That's all it comes down to. The Islanders just got like the best defenseman ever. We were like, yeah, this draft's all right.
Yeah.
And it's all centers.
And they were like, what, like the 10th worst team?
Yeah, and they were in 10. Like, I don't know. Anyway, we got a couple of seconds left. Let's try to get the rest of these. All right. From Brandon Doms, I think that says, I can't help but feel like Michkov's stick size slows him down. My back hurts watching him control the puck.
I feel like this discourse annoys me even more than the rebuild discourse because like I got to watch this for. First, it was Provorov sticks too long.
Yeah.
Then it was Provorov sticks too short. No one could decide which one it was. It was just, I'm annoyed with how he's playing, so clearly it's a stick. No, he's not playing that well because he hasn't been playing that well, and he's slightly trending upwards over the last few weeks. Hopefully he continues to trend upwards, but I really don't think it's the stick. It's just him.
R Park again here. It says free Grebs. Hopefully soon. I want to see him play.
In the lineup.
Do you think we're getting to the point where he should go to the AHL and maybe one of these guys who are hot or maybe one of the Lane Petersons of the world should come up?
No, because I think they should play him.
Okay.
But if they're not going to play him, then maybe. But I think they should play. The solution here is not send him to the AHL. I guess it would have to be if they don't play him, but they should just play him.
All right. R Park also says D'Lo can dance though.
Yeah, we do have visual evidence of that.
I have still not seen this
it was
video.
at Elbow Room in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay. All right. This is what's that? Tim or not? Tim or not? Okay. Who even needs $2? Grow a stash.
I'm not growing a mustache. I will confirm that.
All right.
Mustache is not going to be grown.
All right. From David Shub, he says, "Fellers, let's get these points," and that's where I am. The Flyers play really close games every single night, and they tend to win a bunch of them. I'm just going to enjoy it rather than think like, well, where's the 1C coming from? Who knows? Where do they ever come from? You can get lucky and find one. All right, another one from David Shub. Frank Saravalli has a high-pitched Mickey Mouse voice.
Does he? I think his voice is pretty normal.
I think it's normal, right?
I'm never in favor.
I can't listen to him.
I'm never in favor of
I
criticizing people's like looks or how their voice sounds and stuff. If you disagree with their takes, that's one thing. Let's not criticize how Frank Saravalli sounds.
I'm trying to hear it in my head, and I can't. I think he usually sounds normal. All right. DA Flyers, man, for the record, I agree with your take.
I think the frustrating part for me about the Saravalli discourse is like, I don't inherently disagree with him.
But it's over.
In the sense of like, if I was running the team 2 years ago, I would have bottomed out harder and traded away a couple more guys and tried to, get a top 3 pick for a few years. But the Flyers chose not to do that. And I don't understand why we have to keep rehashing this discourse. Like, they're not doing it that way. So like,
you're not a Flyers fan if you want this to fail. That's what I'm telling you right now. If you like, oh, I disagree with it, so I want it to fail, that means you're not a Flyers fan. You're an egomaniac and you need therapy. All right.
I don't think they want it to fail. I think they just want to be validated that they were right. And it's like,
if you care more about being right than the Flyers winning games right now, you need therapy.
No, but I'm not saying that they want the Flyers to fail. I'm saying they want like everyone in the media to be like, you were right, the Flyers should have tanked. And the thing is like, maybe,
who cares?
But
it's over.
They're not doing it that way. So like, why do we have to keep talking about it?
All right. Next one here, David Shub. We're getting Quinn Hughes. Who cares? Perhaps.
That'd be cool.
I mean,
I think it's unlikely, but that'd be cool.
Why would he go to that cursed Josh Harris organization? All his organizations, you know what happens? Freak injuries to their best players. You want your career cut short, Quinn? Go ahead, go to Jersey, enjoy yourself. All right, David Shaw. All right, that was it.
That was it.
And that is all the time we have for you on PHLY Flyers pregame presented by Bet365. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. Follow us right here on the YouTube. We will be back with postgame as soon as this thing goes final. Follow us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers and follow the podcast PHLY Flyers. I'm Bill Matz. That's Charlie O'Connor. Thank you, Brenna. Let's go Flyers.
We all silly like the mayor.